Well, that was interesting. First of all, I'm sorry for uploading this video very late because I was busy grinding IRL. I'm still working on Yoimiya's overload video, so this one will be focusing more on Durin's banner. If you have watched my 1-hour Yoimiya guide back then, you probably noticed how often I pointed out how underdeveloped Yoimiya's signature team is compared to other Pyro characters. I keep telling you non-stop that Yoimiya needs a premium team just like other Pyro characters because they never gave her one. Yoimiya's kit fits perfectly with overload team structure, not to mention that Yoimiya has way less ICD problem because she doesn't vape. The only thing that holds it back is the non-existence of 5-star premium support. You see, even as a Pyro character, Yoimiya doesn't really have a premium team that works perfectly with her. Unlike some fan favorites who keep getting premium 5-star teams from Hoyoverse, Yoimiya doesn't really have a premium team that feels like home. If Yoimiya wants to have a 5-star team, then she has to copy someone else's team. The fact that Escovia Melt works well with Yoimiya despite being made for cryo teams tells us pretty much how Yoimiya had been copying from whatever unit Hoyoverse had been giving to other characters. Yoimiya's most synergistic team, Overload, consists of two 1.04 stars, which is very outdated. Actually, Hoyo can easily buff Yoimiya by giving her better teammates in the team where she excels the most, but they never did. Number 1. Yoimiya has access to lots of teams to deal with various situations, but she doesn't have a premium team that is tailored for her. She has a perfect synergy team which is Overload, but Hoyoverse only keeps buffing Vape and Melt teams in favor of other characters, so her signature team doesn't have good vertical investment options. Therefore, outside Overload, the way to vertically invest her is to get Mavuika and Hutao supports, with Citlali C2 as the best option. So, when I heard about Durin, I told you through my community post that he might just be Yoimiya's biggest upgrade since her release. And after actually getting him to try on C1 and C6 Yoimiya, I can proudly say, yes, he is indeed the upgrade that Yoimiya had been longing for years. Durin is a great non-vape melt sub-DPS who perfectly synergizes with Yoimiya's Overload team thanks to his Hexerai connection with Fischl. Like seriously, the coincidence couldn't have been any better. If anything, Durin is everything I wanted Mavuika to be. Yes guys, the Overload Escovia does exist! But before we learn about Durin himself, let's take a quick look at the current banner so we know which one to wish for first. While explaining the value of 6.2 banners, I'm showing you the Yoimiya Overload Hyper Investment Priorities made by Sleep Deprived TC. So shout out to Sleep Deprived TC for his hard work and calculations. I'll give you links to his downloadable sheets and manuals in the video description below. The best part of this 6.2 banner is that not only Durin is Yoimiya's current best in slot overload support, the weapons on the banner are also too perfect to miss out. Durin's signature A Theme Artist and Venti's new signature The Daybreak Chronicles can activate their full buffs because Yoimiya always pairs with Durin and Fischl who happen to be Hexerai characters. The Daybreak Chronicles is an amazing bow for Yoimiya and the best in slot for Fischl in Hexerai Overload team, so you will always win no matter which limited weapon you will get in the weapon banner. Durin constellations are undoubtedly amazing, and some guide makers probably showed you that his constellations have more value than his weapon. This is absolutely true. However, for this specific 6.2 banner, in my personal opinion, you should go for C0 Durin first, followed by both A Theme Artist and Daybreak. Then, after getting both weapons, you can go for Durin's constellations. The weapon banner is simply too good to pass because we might not see a theme artist and Daybreak to come in pair again. Now let's talk about Durin team and the builds. Believe it or not, Durin opens a lot of options for Yoimiya Overload. If you don't have C6 Chevreuse, Durin is actually a decent replacement for her. As for the in-game comparison, we will get into it later. Anyway, here are the energy requirements for Durin and Fischl for Stygian Onslaught. Durin himself is already great in terms of energy uptime, so you don't need to worry too much about his uptime in Spiral Base. As for the team damage, let's take a look at Sleep Deprived TC's calculations. If we see right here, Durin Overload with Keqingmin standards is already ahead of Yoimiya's Bennett Overload team. And as you can see right here, Daybreak has better performance than Thundering Pulse in Hexray Overload team if Yoimiya has high CV endgame builds. If you have Keqingmin standard builds or play Yoimiya outside Hexray teams, then Thundering Pulse is still pulling ahead. Therefore, if you have Thundering Pulse, you can keep it on your Yoimiya and give Daybreak to Fischl. If you don't have Thundering Pulse yet, then you can give Daybreak to Yoimiya. So now let's talk about the damage contribution section. For this part, I have to rant quite a lot. So I've been seeing comments about Yoimiya Overload with Durin being a wheelchair.
Yoimiya. And Yoimiya is the other side of the coin, where she's a character that kind of just isn't very good overall. So Durin and Fischl being so much off-field damage is gonna make it so that you can have a Yoimiya team that is pretty solid DPS as a whole. It's still not gonna be competitive with even like pre-Durin release and witch buff, like good overload teams like Arlecchino, but it won't be as far behind as it is now. It's definitely looking a little bit like a wheelchair angle though, unfortunately. But it is what it is.
Obviously, Yoimiya Durin Overload is not a wheelchair. So before responding to this statement, let me explain again about Yoimiya and the concept of DPS roles. First of all, there's a difference between semi-carries and hyper-carries. Yoimiya is not a hyper-carry. She is a semi-carry who is still the main DPS of her teams, but she has a great driving capability and she buffs her teammates' attack. If you actually read Yoimiya skill descriptions, unlike some people, you probably realize that Yoimiya doesn't want to deal damage alone. Yoimiya triggers her burst if her teammates hit the marked enemy, and she buffs her teammates' attack after casting her burst. And this clearly benefits Overload team as a whole. This is one of the reasons why Yoimiya pairs so well with Overload team in general. Also, if you see 40 to 50% damage contribution in a semi-carry character with 3 damage dealers in a team, that is completely normal. If anything, if your character has higher contribution in a 3 DPS teams, it means that the DPS is a hyper carry who doesn't synergize perfectly with that team. So, we need to understand that forcing Yoimiya to fit into an 80% damage contribution team just to make her look good is not a smart move. I mean, the same player clearly admitted that Arlecchino isn't that good on Durin team because she is a hyper carry.
Overall, Arlecchino is one of the characters that gains the least from Durin. As a general rule, the Durin Fischl core with pyro carries is something that is better on worse carries because
it's just that they tried so hard to portray Yoimiya badly, while they could have just said that Yoimiya synergizes with Durin better than Arlecchino.
もし何か面白そうなことがあれば息抜きに遊びに行くのも別にあんたと一緒にとは言ってないから誤解しないでよ
Why? Because she actually embraces her teammates, Fischl and Durin, to actually use their sub-DPS kit instead of just being tenacity slave or support weapon holders. So please remember that if anything, this is the kind of team Yoimiya wants to be in. Do not force her in hypercarry teams just so your theory crafters who don't play Yoimiya think that it's better. And now, let's move on to the comparisons. the thing that all of you have been waiting for. Without further ado, let's begin.
口封じはまたかかれ。どの目が出るかね。痛がっちゃい。みんなは俺が守る。火の用心。さあとやでみっともないではあへいそりゃかかれ。燃えろ。断罪ママ、これは必要な武力。気をつけて。不食新鮮。気いってるぜ。いや、やってやっとっとそりゃえっふっやってやってああほら姿を見せろ。法の裁きを受けていいくれで不食新鮮。気をつけて。物語は始まったばかり。姿火の用心。あとねあといややってやっ祭りの開始や。我の光警戒くさ姿任せて。運命の変わり目。始まったばかりだよ。任せて。不食新鮮。火の用心。いやそりゃやっではあ祭りの開始や。法の裁きを受けて。危ない。物語は始まったばかり。夜の煙。
So that's all for the showcase. My point still stands, Durin is Yoimiya's biggest upgrade for majority of Yoimiya players. He is the first premium support that goes well with Yoimiya all the way up until her C6. You cannot go wrong with this character at all, and the weapon banner is perfect as well. Also, the fact that Durin can replace Chevreuse without going for high vertical investment opens so many possibilities for Yoimiya teams in the future. If Yoimiya will ever get a faction buff or another premium support that provides team-wide utilities, we can pair Yoimiya with her faction support without worrying about the support's element. Also, do not be discouraged if a player tells you that it's a wheelchair. Yoimiya Overload with Durin is not a wheelchair. That's just people being biased against Yoimiya as usual. So how about Durin's value compared to Columbina? You see, I love Columbina. I love her personality and her voice.
こんにちは、コロンビーナ。何？笑ってないよ。バイバイ。
And apparently, Columbina shares the same Japanese voice actress with my favorite boomer horse.
マルゼンスキー URA ファイナルズ決勝を制しました。
気持ちいい風。次もまたかっ飛ばすわよ。
But my problem with Columbina is that she might be heavily lunar reaction focused. She will definitely strengthen Not Cry DPS lunar reaction teams, but otherwise she would just be a really powerful wheelchair core. What I mean by this is that Yoimiya might not serve her main purpose as main DPS anymore if you want to pair her with Columbina. If you are a Yoimiya main, I highly suggest getting Durin over Columbina. Of course, the in-game content will heavily focus on lunar reactions because Columbina is going to be heavily promoted by Hoyoverse. However, please remember that Yoimiya is an old character. The more you skip her supports, the faster her teams become irrelevant in upcoming patches. This banner is too good to pass for any Yoimiya main, so I highly suggest spending your resources on this banner. So that's everything I can cover about Durin. Hopefully this video will help you on Yoimiya's team direction for the long run. Thank you everyone, I will see you next time.